again. There's too much good news to behold. What could someone do about it? He's given us too much good news, if there is such thing as too much good. Not really. Perceived. It's the Creator is too good for his people, for the creation, all of the creation. They'll be in agreement someday, though. Everyone will be in agreement. But what came to mind right now is the animals, the fear, the enmity, the running away, the spirit of this fear. We can read it right in Genesis that the Creator, the Father, put this right on them. And this is all part of the plan and part of the curse, part of Adam not being able to rule over the animals, the beasts, like we also read in Genesis, which has a spiritual, heavenly meaning. And that's the great meaning, to rise above being a beast and rule over properly. But a beast can't rule over beasts like that, because it takes to be above a beast and the beast to be destroyed within. So then the whole creation is cursed. Yes, it all suffers and is in futility because of sin. But the Father did all this, though. We don't have this understanding of, oh, shucks, the Creator just had to do what he did because of mankind. This was all purposed. But we can say it exists because of sin. We can say that with the right understanding. And we can read the Apostle saying, the creation did not subject itself to futility. Look up the word futility. It didn't actually do that to itself with its own mind and purpose and plan and understanding. But he, the Creator, who subjected it to futility so that the creation can be in hope. And this isn't understood by the harlot. Once again, what is understood by the harlot and the beast, this world? Nothing. Nothing apart from the Father. So he took away this enmity for a little bit, and this is how they went into the ark. He already did that as a type of a fulfillment. It was already fulfilled, see, and he didn't do it because he already did it. He'll do it again. And we could read the scriptures that speak like this about him, where he did something, I will do it again. I will do it again for this people, for his people. Specifically, just like that, do it again. And when the flood came suddenly, the wrath, the judgment, Noah went up above the judgment, rising above, and protected in the ark with the beasts. And the four-footed beasts worship the Creator in Revelation. What are these four-footed beasts? He takes people who are beasts, and that's, see, showing the picture, the beasts are protected and saved in the ark. And, representing mankind as a beast, but look what he's able to do. His power to destroy that beast within so that the beast can properly know the Creator and worship the Creator. And maybe there's more, like always, that I'm not seeing about that scripture in Revelation, but just sharing a little bit of what I see. Protected from the wrath, because all his people are protected from that specific wrath. In any given generation, there could have been 500 years ago a nation that was going to be destroyed, and they were protected from the specific wrath, but not tribulation. They're thrown into tribulation. Their whole life is a tribulation because of the world not knowing them and not loving them. To be known and loved by the world is to be an enemy of the Creator. Very simple. Very powerful, that's not perceived by the harlot. We literally cannot be loved by the world. And when we start seeing the real evidence of this, that's when someone can really start seeing and having confidence that they're doing the Father's works and that he's with them. When you start having things happen just like what you read for our admonition and benefit, the sufferings of the saints, then you can really know he's with you, because that's what's required. for all the saints. But first the natural, then the spiritual. First is natural types of natural carnal tribulations. See, that the carnal today perceive tribulation as natural only because it takes the Father in us to start teaching us and experiencing the spiritual tribulation that's within, being hated by the world. It's a spiritual war. The spiritual wickedness in high places is heavenly places, representing the heart. It's the spiritual wickedness with the works of the heart. That's the war, the battle, not governments and systems as the only specific teaching here, although it's connected. Spiritual wickedness in places is the heart. Heavenly, high places, same, above. And the above thing is the heart thing. Messiah's people need to be given a heart, and they do good works, the Father's works, with their heart in high places. But this world does spiritual wickedness in high places with their heart, the higher thing. The lower thing, well, it often looks good so often. That would be called carnal wickedness in low places, but they make themselves look good though. So carnal good, looking good in high places, that is not the real, that is not overcoming sin and death. It's literally changing mind and heart to be conformed into the image of Messiah, Messiah's mind. Start speaking like this with belief and teaching, people will say, what are you saying? Are you Messiah? Yes and no. They ask that from a spiritually wicked intention in high places. We are supposed to be Messiah in the mind and heart, doing what he did. That's yes and no in that literally Messiah taking his place. No like that, but that's what they want you to say so they can point the finger and trash everything that's good. What are they saying when they do that? Are you saying we're not supposed to be just like Messiah, learning and growing and becoming just like what he did and done? Living as he lived, following his footsteps like they can read plainly, 5-year-old understanding? They're saying you're not supposed to be like Messiah, but maybe like the anti-Messiah, Jesus Christ, the one to come, that's born in the world of the world, whose heart is wicked, spiritually wicked in high places, in and of the world. Oh, the Father's blinding in judgment, so mighty and strong, so righteous and true. And we'll just watch the prophecy fulfill itself. Watch people marvel and wonder after an anti-Messiah. You know, it's going to manifest. And at the proper time, I believe he's going to start giving his people something about Daniel, which I can acknowledge I don't know what I need to know about it, specifically the day count. There's like a day count to the salvation of his people. Does this mean we know the day and hour? No. No, not the day and hour, but certainly very close. As it gets closer, his people can know whatever the Father gives them to be close and ready. You know, not caught like a thief in the night, literally. Just because the spiritual thing is true doesn't mean that this thing will not fulfill for the last days, the end of the last days for a people. It doesn't mean that there's no prophecy that will be fulfilled, but we can see that the importance of that is not important without knowing the Father and doing his works and will. If we were living 500 years ago from this perspective, we can say it didn't come yet. He didn't come yet. Salvation didn't come yet. So what would have been the important thing for people 500 years ago? Knowing the Father and doing his works and not marveling and wondering after the beast and having the mark of the beast. The spiritual thing is the only important thing by itself. If the prophecy at the end didn't come like it didn't 500 years ago, we still had to walk in Messiah's footsteps and be like him, learn and grow, and do the Father's works, and know what this beast is, Every believer has to know what this beast is at some point, that it's us, and perceive it and see the works of the beast, not just say words, to see the works of the beast. He proves it. And anyone that doesn't know the Father is that still, continually. You can give anyone anything that they need to know, because we need to know. But they have to seek the kingdom first for real to see these things. And they can't seek the kingdom the way it needs to be done without his spirit, because the carnal man doesn't want to. Carnal man is against him, enemies, and against his people. Serpent seed and the woman seed. And Revelation goes back on Genesis on a few things, giving us a hint that there's a spiritual meaning to the woman, who's the literal mother of all living, but this means something more, and giving us a hint that this literal nakedness has a higher meaning with Adam and Eve. You say you're rich, but increase with goods, carnal. That's the carnal man's understanding. Increased literally with literal goods, therefore that's proof he's blessed. It's a delusion. But Messiah says, this is what you really are. You're miserable, wretched, poor, blind, and naked. One is natural, the other is spiritual. You say you're rich literally and increase with goods. The carnal man says to himself in his own heart, oh, he does this. All of them do, that are rich and increase with goods. It's proof to them, literally, that they are blessed by God, not even knowing the Creator. But it's blessed by the devil, which is a curse. But here's what it really is. Here's what your spirit really is. Here's what's inside for real. Miserable, wretched, spiritually poor, hungry and thirsty, blind and naked and hungry and thirsty. The only way that could get filled is to be hungry and thirsty for the Father's righteousness. He'll do it. Science can talk about it. It's worthless to me, about why animals have this fear or whatever. You think they're going to agree with the Father's perfect word and what it means? He did this. He put the enmity between the animals, and he put the enmity, because there needs to be separation between light and darkness, between the serpent seed, the devil's people and children of rebellion and disobedience, and the woman's seed, Israel, the woman, the Father's people, Israel, spiritual Israel, she. It's called the she because the Father is in the covenant to them. So Messiah is also like a husband now, and his people are the she. So this is the real wedding that the natural points to with man and woman, is actually the real covenant of the Father and Messiah. We shall make man in our image, and then the people are the woman represent. But there is no literal meaning for this, because it's a spiritual. She's a she. That's why there's no male, no female, no slave or free, no Jew or Greek. All of that, natural things, have nothing to do with the kingdom of heaven like this. There is no prophet like that by itself, and it doesn't prove or say anything. So blood and race doesn't say anything at all on whether someone's his people. There is no Jew or Greek or blood or this or that. And there's also no partiality with the mark of the beast. It also doesn't matter for the negative side, whether someone's male or female, Jew or Greek, slave or free, small or great, tall or short. It doesn't matter. All, without partiality, have the mark of the beast constantly, that don't know the Father. And so did his people before believing. But his people don't have that now. He takes it away and he's healing them and gives them a new name. The devil has his own version of a new name. They go away with deception, tricking people, and come back as a new person with a new name. It's the devil's way of doing this in Hollywood, in this world. Sure enough, they do it. It's amazing. That's the devil's false way of new name, because he has to counter everything, invert it, trying to be like the creator, but not. He's not allowed to do anything good because there is no truth or good in him. So he takes what's the creator's and inverts it and teaches the people so, and that's how they have this knowledge. That's why we see the same pagan symbols throughout time. It's just a giant fact, miracle, that his word is true. That's why they like the same symbols, the pyramid, with the all-seeing devil eye, the god of this world watching their undertaking, you know. God is with us. Oh, that is true. The devil is with the people of wrath, but he hates them now. He's with them in an evil way. The devil does not love anyone. It cannot love anyone. His love is false. Fake love, and it's lust. There is no love. The devil remembers sins. The devil cannot forgive with the heart at any point. He remembers all the evil ever done. So that's why people are in misery, because they have no forgiveness. And so the Father won't forgive those that don't forgive. That's a teaching for us. For those we don't forgive, he doesn't forgive. So those that don't know him have no forgiveness in their heart. And they remember and experience all the wicked things that they got. They're coming their way from people as they grew up and lived. They remember it all. Miserable, wretched, poor, blind, and naked. I see the works that people remember it. Yes, I do. I see the works and proof that people remember all the evil anybody's ever done to them. The true way is actual forgiveness and not remembering anymore what someone did. And if they ask again, you forgive again. But it's deeper than that. We have to have forgiveness even when they don't ask, because so often no one's going to ask. Forgive me, you know. We still have to have forgiveness in the heart, or else we won't be forgiving. We'll remember those sins and it's going to eat us up. Have to actually do the right way and right thing. The Creator has to see us through. But I'm saying we have to do that, though. It's true. And when someone does have actual forgiveness, he's becoming in the Creator's image, he or she, where you forget. You don't remember someone else's evil they did to you, and there's a real reality to this. It's literally not on your mind, causing destruction and wrath. It's forgiven. He can do that. He has to do that. We have to do that. He has to do it in us. And so when people see or sense this forgiveness that you don't remember, they'll hate you. For every good thing they actually see, they must hate you. Those that are loved by this world are of the world and the Creator's enemy. If this was truly seen and perceived, just that we can't be friends with the world and love it, and that we can't be loved by people, the world, for real, reality to every word we read, that was really perceived, there would be no teaching going along with that wickedness will be forever, and that the beastly kingdoms and the harlot will bring peace on earth through spreading the gospel everywhere. They wouldn't believe that, but they're doing that with a false intention and heart, with secret self-gain involved, not actually loving or caring the people they convert. Oops. It's not possible for the devil to actually have a love or care for anyone. So the devil and people can't love anyone. They do it for self, period. They convert people to their religion for their own gain, with false, wicked intentions, not understanding the real thing or having it. They travel land and sea to make one convert, and when he's converted, they make him twice the son of hell as themselves, Gehenna fire. They convert people into the Father's judgment and make people continue to be enemies and get even down further down the bottomless pit. They make them even worse That's the saving they do. They save people to destruction. Messiah said so, right to their face, to the harlot, Jerusalem, who is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. No different right now. Whoever the harlot is, they do what Messiah said there. Convert people into judgment. They don't save them. And they'll believe it's for their name, a product, merchandise, produce, that they own the thing that they converted and saved. And now they owe them something for life. In their heart, it's already like that. Their works prove it. And there's a false way of loving the hypocrite who converts someone, where they're in delusion, fond of them. It's all confusion. Thinking they save them, they actually destroy them. And they say, this man did so much for me, he's so good to me. No, he's not. It's not even possible for man to do that. Father is good to people, and Messiah is good to people. That's what's good to people, not man. Apart from the Father, you can't have any of this love. Actually caring about people's destruction. They don't, because they're in destruction. They don't even know what it is. How could they care about it? Whatever a man is, so he does to others. If he's in prison, he gets people to stay in prison and join in prison. If they're in slavery to sin, they want and do works and teach lies to get people to be in their slavery to sin also. But Messiah being freed from that because of the Father in him, and what he taught was true, that lined up with the works. Those that are being freed from sin want others to be freed from sin for real. That's what the Father's works do. Those that are not in prison want others to escape prison. It's two things, and they're divided and against each other. Severe enmity. And the Father hates darkness and evil. That's why he's angry at the wicked every day. Read that. I'm finding out that needs to be true, actually, and has becoming true. Angry at the wicked every day for what they do, the lies they do. You start seeing destruction, this deception, this pride, all for self, this severe insecurity in the heart, and a severe need to be needed by people and worshipped by people. Continue to prove their God because they're in destruction. That's what everyone's heart already is, apart from the Father. The works prove. So they make themselves look like they like people, care about people, save people. They're not. If that was so, the Father wouldn't destroy Jerusalem, who's called the harlot. He doesn't destroy good and good works. It was utterly corrupt. And Lot is inquiring, dare I ask, 40 people, will you destroy this place with 40 people that are righteous? No, I won't. What about 30? What about 20? Dare I ask? What about 10? No, I will not take out anything. If there's actually 10, I will not take out the righteous with the wicked, his direct judgment and destruction and wrath on nations. He's never done that, never will. He doesn't judge them as the same. There's separation. So that's why we read, the apostle says that our hope is one of the things so that we're not judged with the world, not judged right along with the world. Because if that is the case, that means we were wicked and didn't overcome anything, didn't know the Father. Because he doesn't judge the righteous right with the world as if they're one and the same thing. So he doesn't punish as they're one, their separation, and he doesn't reward as they're one. He doesn't reward evil. He never has and never will. This world is in serious delusion, the Christianity world, thinking that there's Jews out there in Jerusalem, and those are the Jews, and they got their land back by killing and murdering people. That's not loving your enemies. We can't actually go and kill people, which is obviously murder. That's our calling. Yeah, but how do you survive it? They don't believe the Father can get us through as strangers doing his works and his will, giving us the things we need. They want you to be in slavery and in and of the world with them, saying that you need to vote for people to go and kill, and they had to go and kill and get their land back. That was the natural way back in the day, that all have spiritual perfect teaching, proving the man was carnal, all of him. You heard it was said before. You're confused, people, not understanding that what circumcising the heart is, to hate your enemies. Oh no. Bless those that curse you, love your enemies. How much more is that true not to go and kill them for land? All of Jerusalem was always carnal. The Father proved it. And he did no unrighteousness by judging those that do evil. Because the wages of sin is death. Egypt is plundered. The nations are plundered by his people so that they can build the things that they need to build. Maybe that's why there's so much detail on building the things that he's told Moses and them to build. We have to build a spiritual house, spiritual everything. And we're going to need to somehow do it while we're in the world, but not be of it. So he plunders the people and gives it to you. Gives it to his people, if indeed someone is of the Father and the Son. There's no unrighteousness in there. It wasn't their things anyways, and it's a righteous judgment. Everything that the wicked have, it's also given. It's not literally theirs. So he judges them for evil and then uses that for good, gives it to build what we need to build. Heaven is his throne, earth is the footstool. And so he's shown me we have to step on this world to get to the kingdom of heaven. It's just a footstool. You don't think as much about a footstool, right? You're going for the higher thing. Just using the footstool to get there and step up and reach to the above thing. What this world loves and seeks, we're supposed to be stepping on as if it's nothing to us to get to the real things that he gives. That never happens. They never sought after the kingdom of heaven. They love the world along with the world in and of it, praying and asking for the carnal things on the earth, which will prove someone's carnal and loves this world and loves the God of this world and does his works, the devil, serpent. Seek the kingdom. See, with the heart. That's where the heart is, where your treasure is, there your heart also. So the heart is not for the footstool things, but we could use it as a footstool to step on, knowing that we need those things so that we can seek the kingdom of heaven for real with our mind and heart and not be consumed about this world. So he needs to give us things that we need so that we can seek the kingdom. We step on it to reach. See, that's the picture. Just use it as a footstool. That's it. Never praying and seeking what the Gentiles, the sinners, seek. They want all these things. We got to start getting out of that, see, with the heart. Money, fame, status, better things, cars, boats, airplanes, women, carnal things and possessions they pray for and need, say they need it. Of course, so many people have way more than they need and they still say, I need it. It's a lie. Their heart is in for it. That's where it's really at. For real, that's where it's at. And they even say and use that for proof that they're blessed by God of this world, Satan. They say they're increased and rich and increased with goods, and we read the scriptures everywhere that his people have gotten fat. They've gotten a lot of carnal good. they got a lot of things, but they forgot him. These things are actually damaging. It will be a deception and a piercing through with many sorrows for seeking and loving and having these things. And when someone gets fat enough, it's ready for the slaughter. This nation and these world's nations and kingdoms have gotten, my goodness, what is wrong with my horn? Barely touch it and it's honking. This country, these kingdoms, man, so many have gotten real fat, real filled up with carnal things. They got way more than they ever need, right? That they actually need, and they're still seeking it because there is no satisfaction for the soul. He doesn't bless evil, so that when they have more, they need more in their heart. They're never satisfied. The Father makes sure that's true for every person that lived that doesn't know him, that's getting things. They'll never be satisfied. In fact, it's punished even more. It's a deeper destruction the more someone has. Not just by itself, someone has more, but with the heart seeking, and then it's getting more, just more destruction. No blessing. Give to the Creator what's his, and to Caesar what's his. We just use what we need and give properly, not doing sin and evil or anything, and give to the Creator what's his. And they were astonished. They were hoping, wishing, praying, desperately wicked for Messiah to give them a carnal answer so they can point the finger and judge him as an evildoer doing wickedness, so they can say everything he said is also wicked and untrue. The Father doesn't allow that to happen to his people, that a carnal man actually traps them as if they're in some kind of wicked deceit. No, they're trapped in their own wicked deceit and proven liars and contradictors of his word. And when that happens, they get very angry and still will think and believe and must believe that's not true, and they'll run away from you and walk away from you in a delusion, believing they're right still, but they just got proven as contradicting liars and haters of the Father. That's what actually happens every time. They were hoping he would do something else. See, when someone's blinded by the Father, they can't even perceive anything, nor can they perceive the answer that they're about to get. They think they're wise in what they've done. And he gives his people to see the lie and contradiction that already is. And we know they'll keep going into it. Not handling his word, not caring about it, not asking of the Father, so they don't have anything. When they get an answer, they're exposed as lying and contradicting and not believing the scriptures. Simple verses they can't believe, proven they don't. That's what really happens in reality, but they won't admit it. They can't believe they've been had by the Creator and deceived and tricked with the serpent, deceiving everyone and being their father. Can't want to acknowledge it. They can't. So bless the enemies in that way by not doing them actual evil or vengeance, and hoping if it's the Father's will that they will believe. Bless those that curse you, Zechariah or Zechariah, somewhere chapter 8, his people were a curse all this time. He says so. You were a curse to this world. He says he'll make everyone a blessing, though. It's going to reverse. People will come and ask and inquire of his people in the kingdom of heaven. Time's going to go on because the wicked world says it goes into eternity and timelessness and all this nonsense, thinking it's wise. It's become fools. It says that because it's serpent wisdom. It thinks it's wise. It knows things and says it for false intention. Then it's a lie anyways. Time's going to continue like it always did. Time's going to continue and Jerusalem will come down. then his people will be a blessing finally, because the promise still hasn't been fulfilled that through Abraham's seed, all the families of the earth shall be blessed. Just because it didn't happen in day one doesn't mean it's not happening. Just because it's happening throughout the Father's long period of time from our perspective doesn't mean it's not going to happen. It is. All families of the earth will be blessed. That's not the reality right now, nor can it be. Because his people can't be of the world. He doesn't change. They need to overcome this world, and it has to be dark and evil. Right to the end. They won't convert it or make it good, bring peace on earth. It's not happening. Going to happen the Father's way with his power, and it's going to happen through his kingdom, not our power and our way through converting people into religion. That's the deception the harlot's doing. And he's showing me that, the gospel is preached to all the kingdoms, all the nations. That's going to happen without the world believing or perceiving that it happened. It's like, hello, he's telling me. What did you think this was? That contradicts hidden in Messiah. The world can't love us. The world can't believe his people and love them. They're a curse. They'll never be believers, ever, in this world right now. So the world won't know when the gospel is preached to all the nations the way the Father has set it out to be, not man's stupid making up of things, carnally. Traveling all over the world, going to and fro, thinking and when someone asks them, why are you doing this? They just use the scriptures deceitfully without understanding. Oh, because it says go to the nations and preach, and they got their hell sign preaching on the corner street. Abomination and wickedness, severe wickedness. They're saying this is who the Father is. It's going to torture people. Believe me now or you'll burn in hell. Someone says, what are you doing? Oh, he told me to do so. But they use the Bible as carnally, with letters, thinking they understand it. They just use the letters. It says so, so I could do it. Prideful like this. They don't know what they're doing, and they know it deep down inside somewhere that they don't know, but they don't admit it, and they're blinded to believe a lie, their own lie sent to them. To be a stupid fool preaching hell on the corner street, preaching everything that's a lie perfectly. While they think they're wise, they become fools. No, the gospel preached to all the nations is going to be done the Father's way, and the world won't perceive it or know it and believe it all. What do they think would happen? So why do they do it? Because that's the right thing to do, because they care and that's what they're doing. Because he gives us a heart to love the enemies, not torture them for all eternity. They do everything with a lie and a false heart. They don't love the enemies. They hate them with their heart, not with their clothes. Someone that preaches hell is in wrath. No one can be of the Father and do that on the corner street continually. Everything about them is also a lie, including all the works are all evil. They hate their enemies that do evil to them. And they can't wait till they burn in some imaginary fire pit for all eternity. Can't wait with their heart. They'll use scripture deceitfully, saying, nope, it's not me, it's my God that's evil. Me that wants this, it's my God. Yes, Yahuwah Almighty deceived them utterly. They're stupid. Give praise to the Creator for his power, that no one can mess with the Father. He's made them stupid, and we also were stupid. There's no such thing as we weren't stupid. They'll try to get that on you, though, to throw down truth. They can't believe anyone actually is changing and knows the Father. Everything they do is with evil intentions from the heart continually. I'm in shock. I'm in utter shock that Genesis is true perfectly with everyone that doesn't know him. They really do, literally, everything from their heart is evil works continually. Only evil works continually. He's never wrong about anything. Of course, the world's going to hate that because they're exposed. As their deeds are exposed as evil. We can read it. Darkness can't comprehend the light. That's one of the reasons why it's hates the light because their actual works in the heart are exposed as utterly satanic and wicked. They listen to their father, the serpent devil, that old crafty serpent, Satan, the devil in Revelation. We're even given a connection and a hint. This is spiritual. That's devil. That is who the devil is. See? He's evil. But first the natural. And woman speaks to the devil face to face, spiritually. This is how the Father rebukes people, right in their face, as if he's right there with them. See, when someone does evil, and especially to his people right now, Father rebukes them to their face. Just because they don't perceive or understand it and believe that's happening doesn't mean it's not. It is. His spirit is rebuking man's spirit right to his face when he does evil. Of course he doesn't agree with it or believe in his judgments. That's for his people to only know and see that's happening and working like that. And once we start seeing and understanding that darkness can't see anything, I mean, it literally can't see anything. It won't agree with anything. It will hate you. Darkness must hate you, and it must flee from you and separate. For all those in Messiah, darkness must run. We must be separate. It's a real reality with the heart to be set apart. Harlot don't talk about it. It's building buildings in and of the world, connected to the government with their heart and the world. It's literally wrong, let alone spiritually, because he doesn't dwell in physical temples made with hands. That's for us to know or where someone is. Ye are the temple. They could say the word, say, yeah, ye are the temple. They don't believe it or see it still. They're still going to church while they say those words. They don't understand it. Someone that's spiritual is not who says words that sound spiritual or add some invisible things and say we won't have a body. Now, therefore, it's spiritual because you just go up to heaven or you go straight down to hell with your eternal soul for all eternity, and it will be like that forever. It's going to be just like this forever. People will be sent to heaven, and people will be added to hell forever and stay there forever. I'm spiritual now because I teach we don't have a body. See, it's a trick. It makes them sound spiritual because the carnal man doesn't know what it actually is to be spiritual. So he'll think in a deception, spiritual is just something that's literally invisible and doesn't have something. That's his only understanding of spiritual in this case. And there's deceivers out there teaching that. So they also call the Father a liar continually about everything. Every knee will bow, every tongue will confess. I guess they won't have knees or tongues to do that. Father's stupid, he doesn't know. Their doctrine and their works say that. They won't say it openly that the Father's stupid and a liar, but they're saying that nevertheless for those who see. And they do everything like this. Secret doctrine in secret places, in heavenly places, is a wicked lie and the contradiction in the heavenly places. But carnally, openly, they give a lie that sounds smooth and good to the deceived, that buys it. They buy into it by itself. And they think that truth can be exchanged like that as merchandise. They think that if someone does good, they deserve money. They think of everything like merchandise, as the world is a giant merchandise producing machine. And also in the Revelation, the souls of men are exchanged just like merchandise. That's not my teaching. I didn't make that up like they'll all claim, these carnal, wicked, constantly false accusation, just saying we make things up. Just because they don't receive from the Father, that automatically means we make things up. Pretty selfish and prideful. A lot of false accusations going on, but that's all we can receive. Literally, that's all his people can receive. Not on day one, he does this steady growth. But it needs to get to this point. That's the only direction, is false accusations. I'm saying that needs to be like that. It's a teaching. You have to be hated and always receive false accusations. Get used to it. Pray for it to get used to it. You're supposed to be thankful when it happens. You're going to do that at first. Be thankful for receiving hatred, murder, and lies and false accusations. If someone see why we're supposed to be thankful is because that's evidence of doing actual good works and being with the Father, is to be hated by this world that does bad works. If that never happens, there's no evidence for good works. We never did them. And good doctrine and good works. Truth. It's evidence that the Father's literally with you, in you. He's doing the good works. That's the only proof. That's why be thankful. It's like, oh wow, I can't believe it's happening, just like I read. That's why. In fact, if this doesn't happen, it's bad. It's the 180 thing, darkness then. The world being good to us means that we must be of it. They must have a secret murderous hatred in the heart and do evil things. I'm not saying that someone can't smile or something. Oh, he was good to me. I'm not talking like carnally like that. Those that see, they know what I'm saying. They know what I'm talking about. There's a real murderous hatred. They do evil on purpose with intention from the heart to kill, steal, and destroy. When those works are done, they're dead. They're fatherless. Concerning our Creator, they're dead already. These people can't do that with intention. The Spirit's always willing. These people, if they do any kind of sin, it's ultimately the weakness of the flesh and it needing to be brought out and destroyed a little more. But the Spirit is always willing in them to do what's right. I'm talking about actual intention, to murderously, purposely go and do something. That person's stoned to death. We could read the scriptures. It's a teaching for our admonition. It's true right now. They can't continue to do that. And then what happens afterward? They'll deny they did any kind of evil, see? Which proves they did it on purpose and don't know the Father, because the Father would surely show them, chastise them, correct them at some point. This favor is not to be understood or had by the darkness. It will use the doctrine carnally for sin. The only thing it can't do. And sin to them is carnal things only, the way someone looks. When I say they use it for sin, it's for the heart, for real what they're doing, not what they say, ever. Not about what people say. Someone says means nothing if the works prove the opposite. It's very worthless. It's only if the works line up with what we say. Someday his people, and not too far away as it's never far away. Especially we don't live that long. So even if it were not to come, if he were not to come for us in this generation, it's still not far away. It's never far away. His people will be a blessing to the whole world and to all people eventually. He's going to do it somehow, some way. The curse is going to be lifted. The heavens will be perfected with how it was before the sun stopped and the moon stood still. Got a little shifted. Stayed like that ever since. Days will be shortened. Go back to what it was first. And to go back to what it was with Adam before sin. But the greater, better thing though, with Adam is the new man and not carnal, incorruptible instead of corruptible, see? And the animals were not like the way they are exactly now with fear and enmity and all this. This is all because of the punishment and curse, because We have to see these things and a lot of evil in the world and the curse with everything so that we can contrast and see what's actually good and know what good is and know what curse and evil is. And then you can really appreciate good after only knowing curse. And then the Father's mercy comes, and it's already true now, and it needs to be true to come though further. And you can to discern between the two and to show his mercy. Co-creation is under a curse. And so a lot of death is going on, spiritual and physical. That needs to be stopped. The last enemy at the very end, last. Death is what will be destroyed. The last enemy to be destroyed is death itself. It's worked through the time, through the ages. Just because it's not true right this minute, carnal, wicked prophets out there making things up because they love this world. That's why. That's what hope is, to believe in things not seen right now and realize right now. Things not seen but hoped for, believing and starting to know they're true, that they're coming. So there's things that just hasn't been yet, hasn't become yet. But they are and should be in part, should be a reality. Father in us being our creator, walking in spirit with him, that should already be true. So in part, he's wiping away the tears already. It's already begun. It is true. And it is to come. It's not filled up yet. It's a down payment. It's a promise. It's like those that know the Father, they have the promise and proof of things to come because they already have a miracle, having the Father and receiving his Spirit now. Having it now and seeing and believing these things it's already like a proof to them. He's better than everyone thinks. In fact, he's good and the world thinks he's evil. Not better. He's just straight up evil to the world. Everything that's good is evil to them. This down payment is utter proof if someone knows the Father has a Spirit. For those that don't, it doesn't apply to them. Sorry. It's not my teaching. It's not up to me. Don't say that with false, wicked intentions, but they'll say we do. Have I become their enemy for speaking the truth? Why do you think he says that? What do you want me to do? Lie like you do? Carnal men out there? If I become your enemy for just giving what I've been given, truth, that it doesn't apply for those that don't know him, they won't believe or see anything that his people see right now, because most of the world is darkness and an unbelief, and that's how it has to be. Many called, few chosen. We become their enemies just for speaking truth with right intentions. They do all what they do with false intentions, so they look at self, it's all it knows, darkness, and judges light as if it's self, darkness. That's all it knows. To the impure, all things are impure because it is impure and darkness, and that's all it knows and is in reality. It won't be able to do any different. You could tell them they can't do any different, and they still will do exactly what the Father has prophesied. In fact, that is real spiritual prophecy. Prophecy is someone doing exactly what you say, and it comes true, and they do it. Father makes sure of it. No one can mock him. No one's gone around him and gone through some other gate. No one has done actual righteous works apart from him. It's all with foggy, dark, wicked intentions of the heart. Can't see anything yet. But doubting Thomas will see, but that's no blessing right now. It's not good. It's an example for teaching. They're cursed if they don't believe right now in Messiah. Belief has a whole lot of meaning. It's real. It is true. Whoever has the Son has life, and whoever has not the Son has not life. No understanding religion, just a system created by man, building temples that he does not dwell in, like he says, made with hands. And saying because we say the words, that's what it means, that's what we have. That's its understanding of having the Son. Therefore, they're waiting for a carnal man to rise out of this world because they don't actually believe in the real Messiah or the Creator even existing. It's not possible for the carnal man to actually believe in his heart that the Creator even exists, and therefore the Messiah exists in heaven. The Messiah is not the Creator, but a man glorified in heaven. They can't actually believe that. They'll only say the words with spiritual delusion of the wicked one, saying it with false intentions and zero actual belief and understanding. I've seen the works to prove it in anyone that's carnal. They don't actually believe the Creator exists. They mock when you speak of the Creator as actually existing, as if it's a fact when you speak like that with authority, as of knowing Him. They mock it. Oh, Creator, because they always say God, that's all, and Lord. It's because it's their God, the devil, and Lord that they're not ashamed of. They pray to the devil and offer their children to Molech in the spiritual fire to destroy them in Gehenna fire. Because Israel already did that, the many called. First the natural, now the spiritual. It's happening. Yes, they throw their kids into fire to destroy them. They know not what they do. And because they don't throw their kids in a literal fire pit, they say they don't do that. Carnal. And carnal proof, which is nothing, no proof at all. They're spiritually doing what I read because they teach their kids to worship the devil. It's happening. That's what it is. It's a severe blinding punishment and judgment on the harlot. He shows everyone that knows the Father in spirit, come, see the judgment I have on her. And we marvel and wonder that everyone's marveling and wondering after the beast, and marvel and wonder that we were utterly deceived like this. But just because it's offensive, it doesn't mean it's true. That's what they say and believe. Just because the whole world is deceived, no, it can't be like that. You must be prideful, thinking you only have truth. Right? They said that to Messiah. Why are you doing that? Why are they doing that? Don't they know that the Father gives truth to Messiah, teaches him, gives him good doctrine and good works to do, and that everyone hated for him and thought he was prideful because they spoke of themselves? Snakes, serpents, devils, and hypocrites. Loving games, literally, with their heart. That's all they care. And spiritual games. They play these spiritual wicked games in their heart. Everything is a game to a child. So something like a child playing with toys and games and everything. That's all I can think of. Someone older and mature comes to it and speaks about real things, giving the natural picture in this world. To the kid, it's boring and it's evil and stupid because it doesn't know what it is, and whatever it doesn't know, it fears and hates. Child likes to play with his toys and games. And then the child grows up literally and puts away these childish things. And now he can start seeing what someone told him when he was a child. This is the real world, child. Put away your toys. Well, that's what it's like spiritually. The children went out to play. They love games, to play these spiritual wicked games in high places. When the Father tests them to see if they keep his commandments or no, and right around the Sabbath commandment, we could read that there. It says the children went out to play. How long will it be until you keep what I do and say, say to do? They couldn't do it from the heart. They have to fake everything in religion. They have to fake worship, fake praise, fake everything, fake grace, fake faith. What it really means, and when it really requires real faith, they mock it. It's an abomination to them. Not knowing is an abomination to the carnal. Real faith is all about not knowing or seeing something ahead and still believing That's the only definition of faith. So in our life, we'll experience Abraham, not seeing or knowing, and looking impossible, not looking good. And we believe anyways, and that's where real blessing comes. And he does the works and makes a way somehow. When that comes to someone in Christianity, it's an abomination not to know. Faith is wickedness. Their faith is wickedness. It doesn't mean anything that we read faith in the word there means. Nothing. It's just a word to say, and it has everything to do with knowing everything. I know everything, and I got my whole life planned out ahead of me. I know everything. His people know nothing, because that's the real reality. Knowing everything is a delusion. They don't know anything. Speaking swelling words, speaking as if they're wise, they become fools, not knowing anything. The apostle that they say they love so much and worship, and he's for the church world, says of them, speaking of them specifically, worthless for every good work. Worthless for every good work, because the heart only does evil continually apart from the Father. The flip side of this is worthless for every good work. The two are one. One truth on the dark side, one truth that matches that on the light side, if you will. If the heart is the only evil continually with its works, only evil continually in Genesis, then it's worthless for every good work. When he says that, gives a list about the sins in the last days and what it is, it's always true, but it's the worst at the end, even worse. He's talking about people who say they believe. They don't believe in the Creator or his power, from such turn away. Who deny the power of the Creator, from such turn away. Because to spot that discernment, that they deny his actual power, is to be wicked. Everything else is corrupt also, period. Because every true believer experiences and believes in his power. Someone that doesn't believe in his power is not a believer. They're a wolf in sheep clothing. So one giant discernment, yes, it can lead us to see pretty quickly who someone is. 2 or 3 things, perfect way, with some witnesses, and it's confirmed. Then they'll do the evil works, which confirms it further. They'll do evil right in your face while they think they're good. Say they keep don't murder while they murder you with their heart. We keep this. How does someone get away with it? I've seen how some people get away with it. This was my understanding too. Because even after believing for a while, I need to see this. I didn't see it till, concerning the Sabbath, what it really means, resting from our works. But it's so confused, people only see it carnally, but when they're told like, that's one of the 10 commandments, how come you guys trash this and hate it? Well, one way they can try to get around it, with the intention to get around it and not keep his commandments. The only reason why they say this. Only reason why they say this. I keep it spiritually every day. It's not about this or that. See, they made themselves sound wise and spiritual. They have no clue what it actually means. They only use those words for the intention of getting out of the corner and problem, so that they don't obey the Creator and give an answer to make them look right and wise, so that they can escape their contradictions therein. When that's the only understanding and intention for saying something like that, even saying some right words, it's wicked, because it only said that for an evil intention, and it doesn't understand it yet. There is something true about resting from his works every day, entering his rest and staying in it, like the Father stopping from his works, and ever since then he's rested from his works. Resting from our own heart's works, the wicked man, prideful, self-righteous beast works. That has to be done spiritually for real every day. They don't know what that is, because they did an evil work right in front of someone while saying they keep it spiritually every day. They did evil and deception. while they say that at the same time. They don't know what it means to rest from works, but they said the words to get out of a problem and not actually do what it means. That's how they try to throw away that there's a day of rest. See, I've seen this. That's what do it. Some will use something else. Some will just hold on to the thing in their mind that it just doesn't even exist. It went away. That was the law. That was bad. That's slavery. They'll do that. There's different ways of delusion on trying to get rid of it. Some will say, if they're cornered, well, okay, we keep it on Sunday. It's on Sunday now. Because the apostle said something, it's Sunday now. Total delusion. They're not even on the same calendar of the Creator. What do you mean Sunday? There is no Sunday. It doesn't exist. Only in a delusion. So they use, and I didn't know these things either, but I can speak of them now. That's what learning and growing is, but they don't learn and grow. They despise the Creator, don't seek truth with their heart. They only say that to try to escape from His commandments, even literally. That's evil works, what they did right there with that intention. If it's spotted, they'll never admit the intention. They're in shock that someone saw their actual evil works and intention that they secretly believe is good. But when it's spotted, it knows something about it, that it's not good. Something in there knows. That's why it gets raging and fuming angry when the real intention is spotted, which is the works of the heart. Why it does something is the works. That's a lot to overcome, isn't it? With our heart. This detailed, this fine, every thought, every work, every deed from the heart, it's got to be perfected. It's a lot of work. Well, the Creator can do it. Be you perfect as the Heavenly Father is perfect. Is that a joke? Is that a trick? Messiah said. He said that because we can never become perfect and perfected, right? That's what we're being led into. Walking in the Spirit, the Father's works are perfect. Be you perfect. And we learn and grow and become more perfect. Actually doing the good works. He told Abraham that. Be perfect. I'm set apart. You be set apart. Be perfect even as I'm perfect. He said to be perfect to Abraham. So Abraham thinks he's going to be perfect. Well, he was, as a natural type of saint, perfect in that he naturally did what the Father told him to do as an example, but spiritually, his heart wasn't converted. That's what he always meant. That's the real thing, to be perfect with the heart. Just looking good is not good enough. Which makes sense and lines up with wolves and with sheep clothing. A wolf can look good. That's the point. It's not good enough. It's still a wolf. Here's a secret for the world that doesn't know him. A wolf can have sheepskin put on it, but it cannot change the works that a wolf does. It cannot change its beast nature. We're talking about the heart. Carnal man says can change. He's talking about the skin. And that proves that he can change and be good. Oh, no. No, when I say a wolf cannot do the works of a sheep, it's for real, the real thing of the heart. You can put sheepskin over a wolf and they can hide like that, masquerading as their father, the devil, does, in the image of the beast, protecting the image of the beast, which is to protect evil and suppress truth and unrighteousness, all one. But they cannot change their works for real that the wolf does, which is to tear at the sheep and do evil when they're hungry, and they're always hungry. They must murder and do the works of a wolf. Does a sheep do that? Jump on wolves and murder it? Sheep is like peaceful, it just eats grass. Natural picture lines up. Oh wow, it's just a giant accident. Evolution, stupid world. Confused world, Babylon. I say that because it is literally stupid. It's actually stupid. Not because we're better. We were better than them. That has to be said with a perfect heart. It can be done with a wicked heart saying those words, and that's what the carnal man does all day long. Sound good, wicked all the time. I keep this and you don't. Prideful, self-righteous, wicked, not understanding the spiritual thing. It's kind of a sad thing. It gives us people so much, and it's like they want everyone to see the same things, and no, it can't be true right now. One of the things his people can't do is stay shut up forever. Light doesn't back down from wicked darkness. It doesn't run like darkness runs. To be set apart is a different thing. It's set apart, but it doesn't run away because it's scared of something like that. Because it's afraid, like darkness is afraid of good, and everything it doesn't understand, it runs away in fear, cowardly fear. They will have their part in the lake of fire. Well, just because this is true, it must be wicked, right? Here's what's true. It's wicked to the world. The righteous who have overcome receive a reward that the wicked don't. What is that? Unfair? Too bad, so sad. That's the truth. They're not, his word teaches it constantly. He doesn't reward darkness and light as if they're the same thing. So those that don't overcome sin and death, they got punishment and destruction coming for a reward. That's what they sought after all their life. Reward for destruction with their heart. It's what they actually did. Turn people around, save them from the fire. They're headed towards destruction. They're bent on it, like the pigs going into the destruction. Unclean pigs going into destruction, falling off the mountain. Foul spirits lead to destruction. It's for the destruction of the flesh. Devil is a serpent. He fights the dust. It's for the destruction of man's flesh. To destroy as a judgment man that wants to save his soul. He eats the dust, and flesh came from the dust, so the serpent eats the dust. That's the devil's job, to tempt people, to falsely accuse, and for the destruction of the flesh, hand them over to Satan for the destruction of the flesh. Because no one can get away with it without being destroyed. Must be a judgment for it. Must be getting destroyed if it's going to sin, which proves that he doesn't accept it. It's not accepted. It's not possible to sin apart from destroyed. And that's what makes it righteous. When someone sins and breaks his way, they're being destroyed at the same time as a righteous punishment. And judgment is death. So the pigs, he showed me this not too long ago, just to see this, like, wow, yeah, that's what's going on. People are bent on destruction with foul spirits, frogs in them. They're running towards the cliff. That's what they're actually doing with their heart, headed for destruction and fire and destruction, utterly. Pull some out of the fire, out of this destruction, to be saved by the Creator and have life now while they're being destroyed. Now they're headed for life. They forfeit their soul that needs to be destroyed. As long as the lion hangs on, the Father's going to cut off a foot. It's going to pluck out an eye. And at the end, it's utterly destroyed. It's utter misery. It's utterly perfectly hardened and bent on hell, destruction. Become a madman. Become mad in this world, crazy, insane. Yeah, I don't even know how many times it's happened, but that's what's going on now. It's going to continue to happen. You're drunk, you're on meds, you're insane, you're wicked, you're crazy, you're stupid, weirdo, all these things. The carnal man has no authority. He doesn't believe anything, has no power given to him. Messiah speaks with authority. Well, that's his people are supposed to also. Due time this comes. We know the Father gives us to know, so we're not confused in Babylon. We know what we're talking about. We know where we're coming from and where we're going in this way. Because he gives, and carnal man never got it from his own works or self. There is no selfishness involved in reality when something is given. It didn't come from self. So the Father is a giver because he's not selfish. And then teaching doesn't allow for selfishness on anything we're given. Perfect way, there is no selfishness in the perfect way. And then his people need to do what the Father did to them. Freely give. Not charge for it. Charge for a lie. He makes them utterly stupid. Not only are they making money and charging and thinking it could be bought and sold like merchandise, they sell lies and make money off of it. And the opposite direction is freely giving truth. You know, they are utterly set apart, these two things. They make lots of money on the books they sell on Revelation. They won't have a clue what hit them. It already hit them. But I'm saying even literally at the end, they won't have a clue, just like the flood. Boom, it's over. Let us in, let us in. Now, too bad. For your sins, wicked. It's got to be set apart. Judgment on earth will be something like that. Oh, but the greater thing to come, though, something like that. Please, please, I never knew you. You know, new, intimate, personal knowledge to have the Spirit. Like a man knows a woman, knows someone. I never knew you. Away from me, worker of lawlessness. Didn't keep the heavenly spiritual law in the heart. Whether it's a carnal Jew or a carnal Gentile, both didn't keep the law in the heart. The only thing that really matters. That has to be done first, taught by Messiah, the true teacher. Must be taught from the Father and Messiah from above. Good doctrine is like getting good food. We will sup with him. He'll give us good doctrine, good teaching. That's like the spiritual real feast in the heart. It's only good if this feast is understood. The feast days, see, then it becomes really when it does this right with the heart. It's not that they're worthless, it just by itself it's worthless. When it's done with a carnal, wicked intention, it's worthless. We can't have a heart of do this just because to do it. It's prideful and self-righteous. And in very few words, his word proves it. He gave the teaching. If the earthly thing isn't what makes us righteous, because it has nothing to do with the heart, it's only flesh outside, then keeping flesh, the lower, can't prove someone's righteous, because the heavenly thing is what it is, the heart, the higher thing. So if someone keeps all the laws and commandments like Saul did before he was into Paul, doing that apart from the Father and Messiah in him, he actually didn't keep any of the spiritual law at all, while keeping it the lower thing, worthless. That's what's going on with carnal Jews in this world. Watch out. They're trying to put people in slavery and prison and debt. So confusing in this world. And then you got Gentiles looking at the carnal Jews saying that they're the Pharisees, putting people in prison. Well, they're both doing that spiritually. They're both doing that. They don't know what they do, but they do it. It's supposed to be Messiah teaching us something in art to keep, and we actually do this. And then these other things will line up and be one as they need to be. Heavenly is above, meaning first, not the other thing first. That was for carnal Israel. Circumcise your heart. They couldn't do it. All these laws and commandments for Israel there for us has a circumcise your heart, a way of keeping it in the heart. Has a meaning and understanding to be kept in the heart for reality. And they could do that. They didn't know what even circumcise your heart means. Just circumcise the flesh. That's all they understood. Circumcising the flesh by itself with a knife that man can do isn't good enough. That's only good when we're being circumcised in the heart by the Creator and the Messiah, the only who could do that. No man could do that. He didn't leave it up to man. There is no boasting. No man has circumcised someone else's heart. I didn't do it. You didn't do it. Gentile church world didn't do it. Carnal Jews didn't do it. Beast didn't do it. The harlot didn't do it. Messiah himself didn't do it. Now in heaven, yes, because these were given. All things were given. But Messiah on earth, as we were, he didn't do it. He could not circumcise the Pharisees' heart. He's in subjection to the Creator, his Creator, the Father. He wants them to come, and they don't. He didn't get what he wanted. Too bad. They don't get that kind of teaching out of that, do they? What are they going to say? That he didn't want them to come? He just said that like to be a lie, a trick, like they do? They only would say that just to look good. Don't actually. See, they don't. Their works prove that they don't believe Messiah wanted them to come. Whatever we read is not a lie. It's real. Messiah's heart wanted them to believe and come, but they would not, because they were of the father, the devil. Their father, the devil. Didn't know the true Father, Creator. He wanted them to come, and they didn't. The Creator gets what he wants. Messiah didn't get what he wants. Please take this cup from me. This is heavy. It's a heavy judgment. Not my will, your will be done. He didn't get what he wanted. Are they going to say he was lying? That if there was no other way, please make another way if possible. This is harsh. You're going to say his heart was lying? He only said that as a trick like they do? He wasn't real. He wasn't a human. He's God. Asking God for his will to be done and not my own, God's will. Let God's will be done, but not God's, my own. And when he says all the things he says, there was no real meaning or understanding and real thing from the heart. It's all fake, a lie. Yeah, that's the anti-Messiah that they believe in. Everything we read is true and not a lie or trick. Messiah got frustrated at the lack of understanding from the people, his disciples, the Pharisees, the whole world around him. He was frustrated. That's what it's going to be like for us. That's out of good. You know, there's a good way and an evil way. It's not a sin to be frustrated sometimes because of the lack of good being done, but only evil. If there was zero frustration for wickedness doing wickedness all the time, then it would love wickedness and darkness. If there was no anger at the wicked and for evil things that are being done, then it would love evil like the harlot does. If there was no flipping over the table in the temple where merchandise is going on inside the heart, exchanging things, buying and selling in the heart in the temple, then it would love buying and selling like the wicked do in their heart and love this world and money. All the people do that don't know the Father. Whether rich or poor, they love this world, the things in it and money. Don't they have free will? Don't the poor people, can't they just become rich and famous like the rich and famous became? Don't they want that secretly? Don't they want to win the lottery and become filthy rich? Aren't they envious? How come they can't? How come they can't? And the rich are deceived into thinking they got what they wanted as a delusion. They were given that also and couldn't be poor. How about that? LeBron James couldn't be poor if he was destined to be rich. What's he going to do? Sell everything he has and become a bum? Become poor? All the wicked despise the poor. All of them. Every drop. All the wicked, apart from the Father, hate the poor and despise them secretly in the heart. Because everything that's good, anything that looks bad to them, is offensive to them. They're afraid of what they don't understand and can't be, so they despise it. Maybe throw some quarters at the bum, like I've seen done. Throw money and then everybody laughs at the guy on the corner street throwing quarters at him. Makes them look like they're rich, like they're good, right? They don't know why they did that. They did that because they're wicked. They did that because they're cowards. And they don't like seeing anything that looks bad, that's connected to them. They're offended by it. It's sick and evil. It's backwards. They don't like the apostle in prison. It doesn't look good. So they have to act like they hate it and actually do with their heart. That's disgusting to them. Because I'm God. I'm not in prison. Oh, I have nothing to do with looking like a bad person. Stay away from the apostle. He's wicked because he's in prison and I'm not. They will be in prison because they're already in it. And they're going in it. All those enslaved are already in it and they're going in it. And those that are being freed from this prison and lawlessness are already there and they're continuing to go there and will get there. Father's supposed to teach us in our heart and change us for real to hate evil. What does hating evil look like? What does this world think that's supposed to look like? Smile all the time? Like they do? Do wicked all the time? Just let it go over and pass by? Sin to the devil is only things that look good, bad, and make someone look bad, their image. That's what sin and evil is. So Messiah exposes their wicked hearts. It's making them look bad. That's really, really wicked. They hate him. They need to murder him because looking bad is the massive sin to the wicked. Even not understanding things, they know something about them doing it, though, themselves doing it. When Messiah is exposing them, say, this is why you do something with your heart. That looks really bad. That's the actual reality this world's in. But they think they can hide like an Eve and hide in the trees and cover themselves. Now they're going to be exposed. Every secret thing, their nakedness, utterly exposed. 1,000 years in prison. Yes, they won't have anything to do with saving this world because of a good heart and wanting that to be happening for all people. They'll be in prison. They'll be punished to show the Creator's righteous and true judgment continually. Those that are going into prison are already in it. Those that will be freed and saved with salvation are already being freed and saved right now continually. See it all as a down payment. Here's a little bit of sum of money for an example here. And you receive this down payment for a way more to come, and it will come. Meaning we're lacking something, things to come, revelation. Also, for darkness, for anyone doing evil, they're already in Gehenna, and its destruction waxing worse and worse. Here's the money. Here's the sum of thing. A down payment of this destruction already exists, already has it. And a lot more destruction is going to come for a reward. It's the end of the wicked. Their end is destruction. It's going to be an actual destruction. But he doesn't destroy the spirit of man, but this judgment is real nevertheless. It's already begun, and the rewards have already begun. Both two things. The evil way is the opposite way. They also have a down payment. It's already real now, and they're going into full destruction. Some of the money. The money given now is proving that destruction's coming. The lack of the Father Spirit in someone is the down payment and the destruction, not knowing the Father is destruction. Because then we don't have the Father's love. So then we're left with the devil. Fatherless and in destruction. The Father's wrath is the lack of the Father in someone, which means they got the devil's wrath in them. Woe, woe to the earth. Woe, 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 3 times. This would always be true for this evil age. It's always been true. It's already true. It's true right now perfectly. Woe, woe, woe to the earth right this second, right now, all around the earth. The devil is in you, has come to you with wrath in them. The earth representing carnal, lowly, earthly, set on things beneath, low. Heavenly, those that are hidden in Messiah. Heavenly things from the heart, good things, spiritual, from above. Things will come. See, heavenly is also spiritual, above, set on those things. More, we're hidden. Those that are hidden in Messiah are hidden from this world. They're not believed in or seen by the enemies, the whole world. And they're hidden from the devil. He's thrown from that heaven, having power, because heavenly is also power over all people. He's thrown down. You have to be carnal on the earth. That's where the devil is. But he doesn't have that heavenly power like he used to for all people, including the old covenant saints. They weren't converted with her. That's a power the devil has, where everyone's doing his works. It's pretty powerful if all people do evil with their heart, the devil's works. He was thrown down now from the Messiah forward, new covenant. Now anybody that's carnal, that's true. And then there's a few that dwell where the devil doesn't dwell, hidden in Messiah above, like a hen hides her chicks. The devil wants to touch them, kill them, but he protects them. He doesn't have this power over them, so he must not be in the heavens. Doesn't have that power. All right, I gotta go. Please take care. Seek truth from above.